Hello, good morning students. Welcome to second part of reconstruction of partnership. Before we proceed with what we are going to study today, let us recall the things we studied before vacation. Okay, the things which we went through before vacation was the basic terminology about reconstitution of partnership, which means whenever there is change in partnership agreement. Now this change may occur due to admission of a partner, retirement of partner, or death of a partner, or insanity, or any other reason due to which the agreement changes. Even if they decide to change their profit sharing ratio, these all circumstances are termed as reconstruction or reconstitution of partnership. Now the reasons which I have already stated, admission or retirement or death or change in profit sharing ratio, is considered as reason for change in partnership agreement, and on account of which partnership is reconstituted. Now in this topic we need to focus upon three things, out of which in this chapter we are going to look only into two things. One is calculation of sacrifice or gain made by partner. So how to calculate the share of sacrifice or gain? So sacrificing share is equal to old minus new ratio, whereas gaining share exactly opposite, new minus old, where you can apply either of the formula and the resulting answer has to be same. Like example we went through, A and B were partners in which old ratio was 2:1, new ratio was 3:2. On simplification, if we apply the formula of sacrificing ratio, resulting answer for A came to 1 by 15 and for B it came to minus 1 by 15, means first partner is sacrificing and second is gaining. Same way, if we apply formula of gaining ratio, formula will be exactly opposite. So resulting answer if comes in negative, it will be termed as sacrifice, and positive will be termed as gain. Then three most important aspects which are covered whenever a partnership firm is reconstituted. The very first is revaluing the assets and liabilities of the organization. Means now we are not going to record the values at historical cost. As the firm is reconstituted, it means as good as creating a new firm. We are required to revalue the previous assets and liabilities. Second is making distribution of accumulated profits and losses. Means the reserves which were created by old partners are to be provided to old partners in their old ratio. And third is about adjustment of goodwill. For this chapter we are not going to study about adjustment of goodwill, it will be applicable from admission chapter. So in this chapter we are going to look upon two things. One is revaluation of assets and liability, and second is distribution of accumulated profits or losses. Now accounting treatment wise, how to carry out accounting treatment? So these are the various cases possible for reconstitution. For increase in value of asset, when value of asset increases, entry will be assets account debit to revaluation account. One important thing, revaluation account is also known as profit and loss adjustment account. So asset is debited whenever it increases. Same way, if value of asset decreases, it is to be credited. In that case, entry will be revaluation to asset. Then third is if there is an unrecorded asset. So again, if we are recording an unrecorded asset, it is as good as increase in value of asset. So entry will be assets account debit to revaluation account. Then fourth, fifth and sixth case are related to liability. If value of liability increase, entry will be revaluation to liability because liabilities have credit balance. Same way, if the value of liability reduces, it is like income for the firm. So entry will be liability account debit to revaluation account. And for recording unrecorded liability, liability increases. So same way, revaluation to liability account. Then coming towards creation of provision for doubtful debts or discount reserve on debtors. So again, in both the cases, the value of asset reduces. In order to reduce the asset, asset is to be credited. So instead of crediting asset, we are crediting our liability, means creating a liability. So entry will be revaluation account debit to bad debts reserve and to discount reserve. Previous year we used to write profit and loss account debit to bad debts and to bad debts reserve and to discount reserve. But as we are reconstituting, instead of P&L we will be using the term revaluation. And finally, on closing revaluation account, the resulting balance will be either profit or loss. Profit will be received by partners, and in order to provide profit to partners, partners capital are to be credited, which we have seen in first chapter. So entry will be revaluation to partners capital or current account. Same way in case of loss, losses will be affecting partners capital or decreasing partners capital, so their capital or current account are to be debited. And then we went through the pro forma of revaluation account. Easy way of remembering, in revaluation account, incomes are always on credit side. Incomes are created whenever asset is increasing or unrecorded asset is recorded or liability is decreasing. Same way, firm incurs loss when the value of asset reduces. or liability is created or unrecorded liability is recorded, or because of provision made for doubtful debts or discount reserve on debtors is created. So under these cases it would be recorded like a loss, and in these three it will be treated as a profit. On simplifying, the resulting balance may be either profit or loss depending upon the side. If total of credit exceeds debit, it will be termed as profit. Same way, if total of debit exceeds credit, difference will be termed as a loss. Now let us proceed with the topic which we are required to study today, that is related to accounting treatment of accumulated profits and losses. Now how to deal with accumulated profits or reserves. Reserves means the profits which are retained by the organization, which are utilized whenever it is required by the firm. Now on reconstitution, these reserves are to be received by old partners. And so they are to be distributed among old partners in old ratio. Journal entry for distributing the value or reserves among partners would be reserves account debit to old partners capital account. Reserves when distributed among partners, partners capital will increase, and if we are dealing with fixed capital method, instead of partners capital we will be using the term current account. So this rule is applicable everywhere. Now examples of reserves you need to keep in mind for our syllabus. These are the list of reserves we need to remember. One is P&L credit balance. Credit balance means balance of profit. General reserve, also known as reserve fund. Capital reserves created by the organization, means capital nature profits are transferred to capital reserve. Then contingency reserve, reserve created for uncertainties. Investment fluctuation fund means if the value of investment fluctuates, in case if we suffer a loss, that loss can be adjusted out of this fund. And workman's accident compensation fund means in case if worker meets an accident, firm has to compensate. So for that, if firm is creating a reserve, it is termed as workman's compensation fund or accident compensation fund. Same way, examples of accumulated losses for our syllabus, one is exactly opposite of P&L credit balance, that is P&L debit balance, that's the balance of loss. Advertisement campaign or suspense account. Advertisement suspense account means deferred revenue expenditure which has to be written off gradually. Same way, research and development expenditure, these are recorded as asset, but you can never sell and realize money from same, so they are also known as fictitious asset. And last one, any other deferred revenue expenditure which has to be written off gradually. So these are the examples of losses we will be given in the question, and we need to just replace it. Now again, coming towards second entry, one is we went through entry for accumulated profit. Same way, entry for accumulated loss would be exactly opposite. It would lead to decrease in balance of partners capital. In order to decrease partners capital are to be debited. So old partners capital account, and in case if we are dealing with fixed capital method, we need to use the term current account. Old partners capital account or current account debit to accumulated losses account. Here we need to specifically write name of accumulated profit and accumulated loss. This is in general entry, so I have written it this way. Now to begin with exercise, question number 1 to 3 are related to theory and they are more based on MCQ or one line answers which students are required to try on their own. Then coming towards question 4. Now from here we need to start the sums, where first question number 4, it is specified that there were two partners, Amar and Akbar. I have written it in short. Their profit sharing ratio was 1:1. That was old ratio, and now they have decided to share profits in ratio of 3:2. This is their new ratio, and we are required to calculate sacrifice made by partner, or we are required to calculate sacrificing ratio in this question. Now if they ask you to calculate sacrificing share or sacrificing ratio, formula of sacrificing ratio or share has to be applied. So sacrificing share or sacrificing ratio is equal to old ratio minus new ratio, where old ratio of partner Amar was 1 divided by denominator total of these two, that is 2, minus new ratio of Amar is 3 divided by total 3 plus 2 5. So if we simplify it, LCM comes to 10. 5 into 1 5 minus 3 into 2 6, 5 minus 6, resulting answer comes to minus 1 by 10. Now we have applied formula of sacrificing. So if the resulting answer goes in negative, it will be termed as gain. Same way for second partner, Akbar. Akbar's old ratio was 1/2 minus new ratio of Akbar is 2/5. So on simplification, the resulting answer, again denominator comes to 10, 5 minus 4, it is equal to plus 1/10. Now positive answer, as we have applied formula of sacrifice, positive answer will be termed as sacrifice. One important point again to be kept in mind, sum of sacrifice and sum of gain should always be same. Gain made by some partner is because of sacrifice made by some others. So this rule is universally applicable. It is to be kept in mind. Sum of sacrifice and gain in change in profit sharing ratio is always going to be same. Then after fourth question, fifth and sixth question are similar, which you are required to try. Then again coming towards seventh question. In seventh question, you are required to calculate gaining ratio, where informations as per question were, there were three partners, Deepak, Nilesh and Pratik. Their old ratio was 1:2:3 and now they have decided to change their profit sharing ratio to 2:2:1. Now in this case, we are required to calculate gaining share, gaining ratio. So for gaining ratio, we need to apply formula of gain. Formula for gain will be equal to opposite of sacrifice. In sacrifice, formula was old minus new. So in gain, it will be new minus old. So accordingly apply. Deepak's new ratio is 2 divided by total 5 minus old ratio of Deepak was 1 divided by total 6, and thereafter simplified. LCM comes to 30, 12 minus 10, resulting answer comes to 2/30. Resulting answer is in positive and we have applied formula of gain. So the positive answer will be termed as gain. Same way for second partner, Nilesh. New ratio of Nilesh is again 2/5 and old ratio of Nilesh was 2/6. So again if we simplify, LCM comes to 30, 12, I have calculated wrong, sorry, in previous case, 6 2s are 12 minus 5 1s are 5, 12 minus 5, resulting answer comes to 7. For second case, 6 2s are 12 minus 5 2s are 10, resulting answer comes to 2/30. Again resulting answer is in positive, so it will be termed as gain. Now coming towards third partner, that is Pratik. For Pratik, new ratio is 1/5 minus old ratio is 3/6. Again if we simplify, LCM comes to 30, 6 minus 15, resulting answer comes to minus 9/30. Formula of gain was applied, so negative will be treated as sacrifice. Again cross verify. Sum of gain 7/30 and 2/30, that means total 9/30, and sum of sacrifice is also 9/30. It should always match. So this is the way of calculation. Again question number 8 and 9 are similar to 7th question, in which we are required to calculate gaining share. So accordingly it has to be solved. Okay, just for your reference, this is question number 4 to question number 9, in which we have today solved question number 4 and question number 7. You can take screenshot if you are not having textbook for question number 5, 6, 8 and 9, which are to be tried as homework. Now for today, 10th and 11 I am skipping. I will be continuing with same in next classes because they are big sums. Today I will be explaining 12th question, which is related to reserves and accumulated losses. So this is question number 12, in which information given is Alay and Sanket are partners in partnership firm. Profit and loss sharing ratio between them was 2:1 as on 31st March 17. The following balances were appearing in their books. Profit and loss debit balance implies balance of loss. Reserve fund means accumulated profit. Workmen's profit sharing fund. Now this is something new. Remember, workmen's accident compensation fund is a reserve, but profit sharing fund is not a reserve. It's a long-term provision which is to be repaid by company in future. So it can't be distributed. Only reserves can be distributed among partners. So this entry is of no use when they ask you to distribute reserves. On the above date, Alay and Sanket decided to change their profit sharing ratio to 1:1. Previous ratio was 2:1 and now they are changing it to 1:1. And further, a claim of 6,000 is outstanding payable to workers against workmen's accident compensation fund. Means out of the 21,000 of compensation fund created by firm, 6,000 is due or payable. We are required to pass journal entries for distribution of accumulated profits and losses in books of the firm. Now accounting treatment wise, in first case, which was balance of profit and loss Debit balance, it implies balance of loss. Loss will lead to reduction in their capitals, and in order to decrease capital, capital are to be debited. Furthermore, there is no clarification about fixed or fluctuating capital, so we will assume fluctuating capital method. Under fluctuating capital method, entry will be respective partners capital account debit. In this case there were two partners, Alay and Sanket. So Alay's capital account debit, Sanket's capital account debit to profit and loss account. Same way, if it would have been a balance of profit, entry would be reverse, P&L to Alay and Sanket. The value of P&L balance was 18,000. And one important point, always whenever we are dealing with reserves, it is to be distributed among old partners in their old ratio. So old ratio between them was 2:1. So accordingly it would be distributed 12,000 and 6,000. And then you can frame narration in your own words, being loss distributed between partners. Then coming towards second point, that was reserve. Reserves are retained earnings which are to be provided to partners. So partners would receive, and with this partners capital would increase. In order to increase capital, capital has to be credited. So entry will be reserve fund account debit to respective partners capital account. That means to Alay capital account and to Sanket's capital account. And again, whatever the amount or balance of reserve is, that will be distributed among old partners in old ratio. Balance of reserve was 27,000 and their old ratio was 2:1. That means 18,000 and 9,000. Accordingly it would be distributed. Narration you can frame on your own, being balance of reserve distributed among partners. Then same way, third case, which was related to workmen's compensation fund. Firm had workmen's compensation fund balance of rupees 21,000. So workmen's compensation fund 21,000. It has to be distributed among partners. So partners would receive. In order to increase capital, capital has to be credited. So Alay capital account and to Sanket's capital account. But further in this question, in additional information form, they have provided that out of this 21,000 we were required to pay 6,000 to worker. Means out of 21,000, 6,000 is still our liability, and this 6,000 liability will be recorded in balance sheet as workman's claim. It's a confirmed liability. So out of 21, if 6,000 is payable to worker, that means remaining 15,000 will be distributed between Alay and Sanket in their old ratio, that is 10,000 and 5,000. And again narration can be written same way, being balance of compensation reserve distributed among partners in their profit sharing ratio. So that's all for today. Tomorrow we will be continuing with big sums. Thank you. Have a good day.